Hey everyone, welcome back to On the Fence Movie Reviews. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Rob.
So today we're going to be talking about the movie Yesterday. Now will it leave you feeling like Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, or will it have you begging for help? So, Yesterday is a film about a struggling musician named Jack Malik, played by Himesh Patel. And through some unknown or unexplained event that happens worldwide, the Beatles are kind of wiped from everybody's memory except for Jack. And so now he's left with the dilemma of, does he use the Beatles' music to get famous, or does he try to be an original artist? And the movie goes on from there. So, Rob, let's jump right into it. What did you like about the film?
Let me tell you something, Adrian. I'm a Beatles fan. I was not expecting this movie to hit me right in my soul, pretty much.
Really?
I walked away from this movie thoroughly enjoying it.
Okay.
Lily James is phenomenal. What's the main actor? Jack, the actor who plays Jack.
Himesh Patel.
He is phenomenal. Even the way he has the sense of humor in this movie that he has. Okay. It's not like comedy, but it's like it's those little like snarky comments he makes.
Yeah.
But he doesn't laugh. It's just he's serious about it.
Yeah.
The relationship between him and Lily James, which is I believe her name is Ellie or Elle, is just like you believe it. Like they're like a manager,
manager musician.
Yes. And you just like you believe how much they have invested in each other.
Yeah.
The supporting cast, the friends, everyone just played their role really well. I enjoyed everyone's acting in the movie.
Okay.
The story arc of this character is phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I walked out of this movie, I was surprisingly, I was like happy. Yeah. I was smiling. Just everything overall
left you feeling good.
Left me feeling amazing, and it wasn't the whole bucket of popcorn that I ate. It was this movie that I thoroughly...
You ate a whole bucket of popcorn?
Well, close enough. I was there for a while. This whole movie was just... It made me feel good. It was unexpected how much I enjoyed this movie. I was going to watch it just as a Beatles fan, and the story of this movie, and seeing what he did when he gets this knowledge that people don't remember the Beatles. And seeing what he did with the songs, and I just thought it was funny, like him trying to remember all the stuff, because the Beatles have a huge library of music, and it was an awesome. I loved it. So, What about you, Adrian?
I had some of the same sentiments as you.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the chemistry between Lily James and Himesh Patel. Mm-hmm. You believed in the relationship.
Yes.
Like I believed that they had been friends for a very long time, and I enjoyed that. I did like some of the kind of quick, almost sarcastic humor that he gives throughout the film. It's not just laugh out loud, slap your knee kind of comedy, but it's just real quick, and I really appreciated that. I liked that a lot. The part when he is starting to suspect something's going on because he keeps mentioning the Beatles, and they're like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? He runs home, starts Googling the Beatles. I really loved that whole scene. It was really well done. Yeah. And I liked the way they cut the film, some of the editing and some of the stuff that they did in post to give it a little bit more unique flair to it, which I liked and I enjoyed those things. One of the standouts I got to mention, or two of them actually, as I got to say, is the friend who plays Rocky. Okay. I can't remember his name.
Joel Fry.
Joel Fry. And the scenes that he's in, he just brings a really good sense of comedy. It's just right. It's not too much and over the top. It's just right.
Right.
And the big surprise for me was Ed Sheeran. He was really funny. He was playing kind of an exaggerated version of himself, and it was really well done. I liked how he did it, and it was really funny. The lines that he was giving out there, and it was really cool and funny to see. It wasn't too much, but it was just right.
Just right.
And yeah, I did enjoy those things about the film, the aspect of that film. I really love the premise, the idea of that, you know, that moral dilemma. Is like, do I steal somebody's music to become famous? And is it really stealing if it never really existed in everybody's mind? So I like that. So those are some of the things that I really enjoyed about the film. Rob, what did you not like about the film?
It was very, honestly, when I left the theater, there was only one thing that stood out to me that I did not like about this film.
What was that?
I don't know. I don't want to bash an actor, but I feel that maybe it was direction or writing. As far as what is her name? Kate
McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon. She was just. I feel like she. Maybe she was in a different movie.
Yeah.
It just she was too much. Of like there's spots of like that. I don't know. It was just I feel like she did not belong. She was very out of place. She made jokes that were not funny.
Yeah.
I don't remember anyone laughing at any joke that was specific. She tells a joke and it wasn't funny. The way she acted, I get what she was. I get like what she was going for, but it just didn't land with me.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah, no, it just didn't land with me, and that did not make the movie. It did not bring down the movie for me. Just that was a standout spot where I was just like, I don't like this part. I don't like these jokes that she's saying. I don't like the way she's acting. I don't like the way she's interacting with people.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much it for me. What about you?
I have to agree. That was one of the things where I was sitting there and she shows up, and the scene right before she shows up is a really great scene.
Yes,
because
it is.
it's Ed Sheeran and Himesh Patel, and he's like, you go in that room, I go in this room, and we're gonna write a song, original song, and whoever has the best song wins, right? And so it's pretty funny, like see and entertaining to see him sing a song, and then Jack Malik, the character, sing his song, and then she shows up, and it's kind of like she right away jumps into her Kate McKinnon spill.
Yes.
Like it just, like you said, she feels so out of place.
Yeah, she does.
Like she's wrongfully cast, and the way she's playing the character, I get they needed a character to be like kind of like that money hungry, blood sucking manager.
Yes.
And that's what she was doing, but she was doing it in a way where you would see her play one of her characters on SNL, and that for me kind of took me out of the movie just a little bit. Like, so every time she was in a scene, it was like it didn't really fit or work, and I think that was a direction choice. I think they kind of wrote it out and they said, this is how we want the character to be, and probably they wanted it to be a little bit more comedic infused. And I think Danny Boyle was just like, yeah, just do what you do. Yeah. And that might have been what happened. And yeah, so it just kind of didn't work for me. So every time she was on screen, it just, no. And actually I had the same experience. Every time she was in the theater, every time she was doing a joke or giving her one-liners, there was almost nobody laughing.
Yeah.
It was dead silent. So it just did not work. And that took me out of the film quite a bit. The other thing I will say is I wanted to see a little bit more. I wanted to see them focus a little bit more on that moral dilemma, because it was really interesting. And he kind of rises and he starts to struggle with his own personal, do I, am I a fraud? You know, and that's the thing that he was struggling with. And so I wanted to see a little bit more of that. And actually, I wanted to see, even though I felt that they had great chemistry, I wanted to experience a little bit more of that romantic love story side of Lily James and Himesh Patel. And I feel like they kind of rushed it a little bit. Okay. So those are the little bit of things right there. And then the ending. The ending I felt was a little bit predictable.
Okay. Yeah.
The way it ended, and like, this is what we're going to do. And what they do and what he does to kind of take a jab, I guess, if you will, at the record company and Kate McKinnon's character. It reminded me a lot of another film called Begin Again.
Okay.
With Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley, which is a really great film, and I recommend anybody who's like into music and that sort of stuff watch it. It's really good. But the ending was, now I don't want to say exactly the same, but the thing that they do to stick it to the record company and her is very similar to something
Okay.
that they do in that film, and that's what it kind of reminded me of.
Okay.
But yeah, so those are some of the things that kind of didn't sit well with me.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my feelings about it.
All right.
So Rob, what is your overall verdict of the film?
My overall verdict of this film is...
Are you gonna get off the fence, or are you gonna watch, or are you gonna stay on there?
You know what? I'm not gonna stay on the fence. I'm gonna definitely get off the fence and go watch this movie because this is not only if you're a Beatles fan, because they use the Beatles music so well, but just if you're a fan of a good story. Like this is again, this might. I know it's only halfway through the year, but this might be in one of my top movies of the year.
Okay.
Just because I instantly almost fell in love with the characters and just the story, and I was like, this is in my opinion, this was a great movie.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get off the fence. Tell you should get off the fence and go check it out in your local cinema.
There you go.
What about you, Adrian? How do you feel?
Actually, I'm thinking I might just stay on the fence and be one of those people that would maybe recommend waiting. And here's my reasoning. It's an entertaining film.
Okay.
It's good. It's not great, and I was a little disappointed because I had really high hopes for this film.
Okay.
So it didn't meet all of my expectations.
Okay.
And when I think about it, all the local theaters that I know of, it's not playing in any sort of Dolby or whatever.
Right.
And I feel like this film, given the musical aspect of it,
I agree.
would benefit from something that has a better sound system like Dolby Atmos or an IMAX sound system.
Yes.
And so when you're sitting there in your regular theater, the mix isn't always quite right. You don't get the clarity and the levels that make for a really good sounding film.
Yes.
And if you have a sound system at home, it might just be better. It might play better at home.
I definitely thought the exact same thing you're saying. When I was watching it, I was like, this would sound so much better in like the Dolby because of just the sound that they have.
Yeah, exactly.
But definitely agree with you there.
Yeah, and so those are my feelings about it. Not that I say that it's not a good film. Yeah, and like to your point, the Beatles, if you're a huge fan of the Beatles, I recommend maybe you go watch it for yourself and form your own opinion. But for me, I wasn't 100% sold, so I would say maybe just wait for it to come out.
I feel like for me personally, I feel like all this year, I feel like it was like, it was like blockbuster, and this was just like one of those like, under the radar, kind of like not low budget, but just like one of like a somber movie that wasn't hyped to be this.
I do agree. It was a nice palate cleanser between all we're getting is a lot of comic book films and these big, like what you're saying, blockbusters.
Yes,
it's nice to. And I will say at the very end, when they sing the song "Ola Di Ola Da," that really that left me feeling really good. I like that song. I like the way they did that scene. I love that whole scene. It was really great. And I was walking out the theater singing that song.
In my theater, people were still sitting down and we were singing the song together.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
that was cool.
And so that may be a good reason to go to the theater is watch it to have that communal experience. And that's why movie theaters are great.
Yes.
So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this review. Why don't you comment down below and let us know what you thought of yesterday. And don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow us on social media.
And remember, we'll catch you on the fence.